Hey, David.
Hi.
So you're having some problems with your phone, huh?
You're coming out a little bit choppy again.
Okay. Well, hopefully I know whenever there's bad weather, it tends to mess up the internet a little bit and give me a little problem. So we'll see how far we can go without having to resort to using a phone.
Okay.
So what do you got today?
Now we're going on the website.
Okay. Let me go to the website. Big ideas, right?
Yep. And so we just finished chapter 3.1 and 3.5.
Okay.
So I was wondering if we could go ahead a little bit.
Morning.
So it's like 3.6 to 3.9.
Okay.
Sorry, that's my dog.
It's alright. I have that problem all the time. I'm surprised my dog hasn't started barking yet.
Yeah.
In fact, it makes me wonder if my dog's okay. Pie, are you okay? Where are you, girl? Don't you hear this other dog barking? Now I am worried. Hold on a second, Dave. She's okay. She's just sleeping. All right.
So anywhere between 3.6 to 3.9, preferably 3.6.
This is 3.6, and this is the first set of exercises. So, is 1 foot, wow.
Well, that's easy.
So they have apparently taught you these conversion rates, and they expect you to memorize them, or?
Apparently, I guess.
Let's go back and look what they say.
We haven't yet, but I do know relatively.
Yeah, you have to know the ratios. In other words, you have to know that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters, 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometers, 1 quart is approximately equal to 0.95 liters, and 1 pound is approximately equal to 0.45 kilograms. It'd be worthwhile for you to memorize those. You'll need to know them basically the rest of your life, approximately. So, if 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters, which is bigger? 1 foot?
1 foot.
Yeah. And how about 450 yards compared to 450 centimeters?
450 yards.
About 30 inches with 30 millimeters.
30 inches.
Because 1 inch is clearly bigger than 1 millimeter. If 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. These are a bit strange. These aren't really math questions. They're more physics questions. 125 inches or 125 centimeters?
125 inches.
1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters.
Oh, they're equal.
No.
Wait.
1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
The 125 inches is bigger.
Yeah, I got kind of confused there for a second.
Don't blame you. I was confused in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 inch is bigger than 1 centimeter. If it's equal to 2.54 centimeters, it's bigger than 1 centimeter, so 125 of them are going to be bigger than 125 of those.
Yeah.
Okay, so 100 foot per hour compared to 100 kilometers per hour. Which is faster?
100 kilometers since
1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometers.
Yeah.
So the equivalent measures tend to be miles and kilometers, so obviously a kilometer is going to be a lot bigger than a foot. In fact, a meter is bigger than a foot. A meter is close to a yard.
Yeah.
And a yard is 3 feet. 10 liters or 10 gallons?
10 gallons, since a quart is bigger than a liter.
Okay.
And I know that a quart and a gallon are, a quart is a quarter of a gallon.
1 quart is almost the same size as 1 liter. And 1 quart is a quarter of a gallon, like you said. So
it would be bigger.
10 gallons, quite a bit. Would be almost four times bigger, because every gallon is 4 quarts. And even a quart is close to a liter. It's not quite as big, but once you get to gallons, a gallon's definitely bigger than a liter.
And then,
okay, for number 10, we need to multiply it by a conversion factor. So let me write on this for the moment. Now we're getting more to math. When I say 3 miles equals blank kilometers, well, I have to multiply this by a conversion factor where kilometers has to be on top and miles has to be on bottom. So what is that conversion factor? Miles and kilometers. 1 mile equal 1.6 kilometers. So how do I write this? If 1 mile equals 1.6 kilometers, how does this conversion ratio need to read?
3 times 1.6 over 3.
Yeah, in other words, the conversion is 1.6 kilometers per 1 mile.
Yeah.
It goes either way. It's also true that the conversion might be 1 mile per 1.6 kilometers. So the key as to how you put it depends on which unit you want to lose. Notice that as long as my mile is in the denominator, then the miles cancel and I end up with kilometers, and that's what I'm looking for, is kilometers. So this would be 4.8 kilometers. But if you don't know whether to put your conversion factor, how to orient it, in other words, the reciprocal or itself, always you can figure it out based on the units that have to cancel.
That cross-reduce, yeah.
So 10 quarts has to be converted to liters. What is the conversion factor we're going to use?
So, 0.95 liters over 1 quart.
Good. That way the quarts cancel, and we end up with 9.5 liters. 10 quarts is equal to 9.5 liters. Okay. "68 kilograms is equal to how many pounds?"
68 kilograms. So kilograms to pounds. Can we see it again?
1 pound equals 0.45 kilograms.
So if 1 pound is 0.45 kilograms, you would have to put kilograms on the bottom so you can cross-reduce them. So 1 pound equals 0.45 kilograms.
And that's always, when you multiply it, when you're converting something, always just multiply it by whatever you know that to be. It's just either 1 pound per 0.45 kilograms or 0.45 kilograms per pound. But in this situation, we need the kilograms in the denominator, so we put it this way. And then what would that number equal? In other words, to solve for the blank here, what do we do?
You cross out the kilograms.
Okay.
Since they're cross-reduced.
Right. So I cross the kilograms. So that means I end up with just pounds, but what about the number?
So you would just multiply it, so 68 over 0.45.
Yep. So you divide it.
And then...
Do you have your calculator?
No, I can go get it really quick.
Yeah, we're probably getting to a point where we don't want to spend time having you do these manually, even though that's good practice for anybody, but you're pretty good at it, so I don't think you need a lot of practice at it. So we should start solving these using a calculator.
Yeah. So I'm going to go grab it really quick.
All right.
Okay, I've got it.
So 68 divided by 0.45.
68 divided by 0.45 equals 151.11 repeated.
Okay. So all of these are going to be pretty much just exactly the same process as we're doing on each one of these. Number 13, 8.3 inches equals, or approximately equals, how many centimeters?
So there's 0.45, no, that's kilograms to pounds. 0.56 centimeters in an inch, correct?
You know, I got to go up and look myself.
Yeah. I could pull it up on the...
1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters.
Okay.
So 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. So how do I solve this problem?
So if 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters, you would do inches on the bottom. So 2.54 centimeters on the top and 1 inch on the bottom.
Good. And then multiply 8.3 times 2.54.
So 8.3 times 2.54. Approximately 21.1 centimeters.
Okay.
Around it.
Okay, now I'm going to give you one. How many seconds are in a month?
So if I do that, I know that this is going to take a while. So there's 60 seconds in a minute.
And in fact, let me change that. Let me make it per week. Because months vary. Some months have 30 days, some months have 31. But all weeks have 7 days. So in other words, we're going to have a series of conversions, right? We want to end up with seconds. So each conversion has to eliminate this variable and get closer to seconds. So what's the first conversion factor?
We need to find out how many days in a week.
Okay. So we got what?
7 days for 1 week.
Right. Now we've got the weeks gone and we got days. So let's convert days to hours.
So, and if it's 1 day.
So now we're going to lose that and that and that and that, but we're in hours. We need to go to seconds. So let's go to minutes.
So there's 168 hours in a week.
Well, let's do it step by step. We can do the arithmetic later. What I want you to see really is that to convert weeks to seconds, you have 4 different conversion rates.
And then you do, so in 1 hour there's 60 minutes over 1 hour.
And then the last conversion rate would be 60 seconds per 1 minute.
Yeah.
And then everything cancels except the final numerator, which is seconds, which is what we want. So the number of seconds in 1 day is 7 times 24 times 60 times 60. And that would give you the number of seconds in 1 week. Excuse me.
6,000, no, 604,800.
It's quite a few. That's more than 500,000. So that means that in 2 weeks, there's more than 1,000,000 seconds. If you ever want to get a feel for what second or what 1,000,000 feels like, that's a good thing to think about, is that there are more than 1,000,000 seconds in a 2-week period.
Uh-huh.
All right. What else do we got here? Let's see. Well, I know you know these. Is this stuff you've covered, or is this stuff coming up?
This is stuff coming up because we took the unit test for 3.1 to 3.5 today.
Okay, how'd you do on that, do you think?
I think I did really good, actually.
Good, I would expect so. You do really good on all of our tutoring sessions, so I would think you could carry that over into the tests. Why are 17 through 22 any different than 10 through 15?
Because we have to round to the nearest hundredth?
Oh. Well, no, 10 through 15 was round to the nearest hundredth also.
Oh, yeah.
The first one said using a ratio. This one says using a proportion. They're the same thing.
Yeah.
In other words, if we were going to solve this first one, what happened to my, hold on, 48 inches is equal to how many centimeters? What are we going to multiply it by? What proportion? Or ratio?
2.54 centimeters per 1 inch.
All right.
And then you multiply 48 by 2.54 and you get 121.92.
Okay. So these don't seem to be any different than the others, and you know how to do both. Let's see if we scroll down a little bit. Copy and complete the statement using greater than or less than. So is 8 kilograms compared to 30 ounces?
So I know there's 16 ounces in a gallon.
Well, hold on a
So
second.
that means
Go back and look at kilograms and ounces.
there's only kilograms per pound.
Okay, so how do we solve this? We need to convert each to, or one of them to the other's units, right? And then we'll know which one is bigger. In other words, we can either convert kilograms to ounces, or we can convert ounces to kilograms. Since this is the smaller number, let's convert kilograms to ounces. How do we do that? There's two different conversions required. There's kilograms to pounds, and then there's pounds to ounces. So we have some number of pounds per kilogram, and then we're going to have some number of ounces per pound. Well, I know this is 16 to 1. Pounds to kilograms, I think it's 0.45. 1 pound per 0.45 kilogram. In other words, this is kind of like the problem when I said how many seconds are in a day. You need two different conversion factors.
Yeah.
So how many ounces is 8 kilograms?
So you 8 over 0.4 kilograms. So 8 divided by 0.4.
0.45.
Yeah, that's what I meant, sorry.
Okay. And multiply that number by 16, and you get the number of ounces that 8 kilograms equals.
So 8 divided by 0.45 is 17.7 repeated.
Okay.
And then multiply that by 60.
We don't really need the answer to answer the question. Which one's larger?
The kilograms.
By a lot, huh?
Yeah, there's 284.4 repeating kilograms in 30 ounces.
So 284 ounces is greater than 30 ounces. In other words, this question is merely we need to put in a less than or equal than. Okay, so we nearly need to know which is bigger. About 6 feet or 300 centimeters? David, you still there? David? Are you back?
Yeah, it said my audio connection had been lost.
Yeah, I noticed in my GoToMeeting it said you were offline. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So it just came back on, it came back on automatically?
Yep,
Okay.
looks like it.
Okay. What's bigger, 6 feet or 300 centimeters?
Well, in 6 feet, there is 300, no, more than that.
Let's do it in 2 conversions. Rather than trying to convert it all in 1 step, let's convert it in 2 steps.
So, I know that there's 1 inch, no, 1 foot per 12 inches.
Well, we want to write it like this because we need the feet in the denominator. In other words, it's not 1 foot per 12 inches, it's 12 inches per 1 foot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That gets rid of those. Now we need to convert the inches to centimeters.
720 inches over 720 inches is bigger than 300 centimeters.
Okay, but let's finish. Let's do the problem. In other words, we need to convert this to some number of centimeters. So what's this conversion factor need to be?
It'd be
converting inches. Yeah, there you go.
2.54 centimeters over 1 inch.
And now everything crosses nicely. We're left with centimeters. And what is 6 times 12 times 2.54? You're going to find that that is a number less than 300.
Oh, you get 182.8.
Yeah. So the 300 centimeters is the bigger amount.
Oh, yeah. I just thought of another way you could have solved that. So, 300 meters equals 3 meters, and 6 feet equals 2 yards.
Very good.
Since they're
Very
close
good.
to each other,
Very
3
good.
meters.
Although I do think it's probably helpful to do these with this methodology exactly. I mean, it's nice that you recognize that.
Yeah.
That is helpful. At least it's helpful in telling you whether your answer is correct or not. But in terms of answering these, I think we want to go through using however many conversion factors we need. In other words, we need to convert gallons to liters in order to compare 3 gallons compared to 6 liters.
Yeah.
It's the conversion factor.
4 quarts over 1 gallon.
And then another conversion factor.
12 quarts per 3 gallons, and then...
Hold on. No, we don't want that. Well, okay. You're getting ahead of yourself. Don't do the math before you get everything written out. And there's a reason why I say that. In other words, we're looking for liters. So this last conversion factor has to convert quarts to liters.
0.95 quarts for every... No, 0.95 liters for every 1 quart.
And notice that I don't do any math until I make sure all my units cancel. That cancels with that cancels with that, and I end up with that, liters. Now I can multiply 3 times 4 times 0.95, and I'm going to get a number that's quite a bit bigger than 6.
You get 11.4.
Notice that you don't actually have to use your calculator to solve these problems. because they're not even close. In other words, we're taking 12 times 0.95. Well, 0.95 is almost 1, so that number has to be like 11 something. So I know it's going to be bigger than 6 without doing the math. You don't really need to figure out that number. You can look at it in your head and say 3 times 4 times 0.95 is a bigger number than 6. They're both liters, so you go with the bigger number. "10" or 200 millimeters?
Well, I would do millimeters, so I know. So in 10 inches, there is 2.5 centimeters over 1 inch.
Okay. The second conversion factor to get it from centimeters to millimeters?
100 millimeters, no. 10 millimeters in 100 centimeters.
10 millimeters per 1 centimeter.
I feel like I just had a brain fart right now.
That's okay. The millimeter is smaller. Milli means 1,000th. So a millimeter is 1,000th of a meter. Centimeter means 100th. So centimeter is 100th of a meter.
Yeah.
So millimeters are the smaller things. There's 10 of those per 1 centimeter. Now the centimeters cancel. You're going to end up with millimeters. Which number is bigger? 10 times 10 times... Can you tell which is bigger without using your calculator?
Yeah, 10 inches bigger.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. 10 times 10 is 100 times 2.54. It's going to be about 254 millimeters.
Yeah. Exactly 254, actually.
Yeah. Well, I think they rounded that off, to be honest with you. I don't think 1 inch is equal to exactly 2.54 centimeters. It's probably 2.54 and change. But, all right. So, how about 1,200 gallons or 5 pounds?
So, well, can you do that?
Boy, that's just what I was going to say. That's a weight. Well, that's a weight also. Yeah, no, we can do that. Yeah, we know what... Oh, that's not gallons. That's grams. Excuse me.
Oh, okay.
1,200 grams compared to 5 pounds.
So, I don't know my grams too well, so...
Me neither. Let's both look. We got 1 pound equals 45 kilograms. There's 1,000 grams in a kilogram, and there's 16 ounces to the pound. So, I think that, yeah. So let's start with the grams. Let's convert those to some number of pounds.
So
first of all, I got to get at the kilograms.
there's 1 kilogram per every 1,000 grams.
Okay. That gets rid of the grams. Now I got to convert kilograms to pounds.
So this is 0.54, 1 pound for every 0.54 kilogram, correct?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So now take 1,200 and divide it by 540.
Yeah. So 1,200 divided by 540 equals 2.2 repeated.
2.2 pounds.
Yep.
So 5 pounds is clearly bigger.
Mhm.
Okay, how about that last one? 1,500 meters or 3,000 feet?
Well, 1 meter is, so 100 centimeters over 1 meter. And then you have to convert it into inches. So you turn that into 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters.
Good.
And
now we're in inches.
And then you go 1 foot for every 12 inches.
So our answer is 1,500 times 100 divided by 254 times 12. Whatever that number is, how does it compare to 3,000?
So, 1 second. What is my calculator doing? Okay. 1,500 times 100 divided by 254 by 12. You get 49.212598843. So,
hold on.
3,000.
Hold on, just one moment. So we got 15 with 4 zeros divided by 254 divided again by 12. You get 49.21. You were right. Sorry, didn't mean to question you. So that doesn't seem right though.
Yeah.
That's 49.21 feet. So why would they give us so lopsided numbers? That's why it doesn't seem right. First of all, 1,500 meters is not 49 feet. 1,500 meters is almost a mile. Because there's a race in the Olympics that's the 1,500 meter. And it's almost a mile. So what did we do wrong here? This was 2.54, not 254. I left my decimal point, which means that it's 4,921 feet. So the 1,500 meters is bigger.
Because 500 meters is almost a mile, like you said.
Yeah,
And
that actually was a really good problem. Because, you know how I've always talked about using ballpark stuff to figure out whether your answer was correct or not? Well, the 49.21 feet just it couldn't be right. I knew 1,500 meters because I know of that race. And so I knew 49 feet wasn't right. And it allowed me to go back and pick up the fact that I had dropped a decimal point by a factor of 2. And then when I discovered that, I come up with the right answer, and 4921 is bigger than 3,000. So being able to do that ballpark stuff helps you find errors that we've made. It's very useful.
Yeah. So the next one is 45 miles per hour equal over kilometers per hour.
So what do we need to multiply this conversion by?
So you have to do,
What is the conversion from miles and kilometers?
point
1 mile
five
equals
four.
1.6 kilometers.
Okay.
1 mile equals 1.6 kilometers. Okay?
So 1.6 kilometers is on top over 1 mile.
Notice the miles cancel and I end up with kilometers divided by hours.
Yeah. And so you get 45 multiplied by 1.6. You get 72. So 72 kilometers per hour.
Right.
Next one is 2 kilometers is almost how many miles?
Hold on, what happened here? Which one are we doing?
18, I believe.
Okay.
Wait, no. No, we're not. We're doing 32.
We're doing 32. That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have, because we're doing ratios now.
Yeah.
In other words, each section here gets slightly harder in terms of the units.
So you get 5 gallons per minute. You need liters. So this is 2 steps, I believe. Yeah. Well, we have to.
Don't we know liters? Do we know liters per gallon?
I don't think
No,
so.
we know quarts
No,
per
quarts
liter.
per
We know quarts per liter. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
You're right. It is 2 steps. Okay.
So there is 0.9. No, 4.
First of all, we need to convert gallons to quarts.
Yeah, 4 quarts in 1 gallon. And then we have 0.95 liters per quart.
So we end up with liters per minute.
You get about 20 would be ballpark.
Yeah. But in this case, they want an exact answer, rounded to the nearest hundredth.
Yeah.
In other words, this is different than the previous set of problems. The previous set, we just needed to know which was bigger. This one, we need to know an exact conversion.
It's 19.
Exactly.
Yep.
$120 millimeters per second. It's the speed of a fast ant. And we want to end up with inches per second.
That is a fast ant.
Probably is, yeah. I was kind of being funny, but...
So anyways, you need to do millimeters per centimeter and then centimeter per inches.
Hold on. The first one we need to do is centimeters per millimeter, right?
Oh, yeah. 1 centimeter per every 10 millimeters.
Okay. Now we got centimeters per second.
And then we need 1 inch per 2.54 centimeters.
And now we got our units right. The most important thing on these problems is to make sure your units end up right, and that will kind of guarantee that you're not dividing when you're supposed to be multiplying or vice versa. In other words, the whole key to here is whether you divide by these conversion factors or whether you multiply by them. And the way you will always figure it out is to make sure your units come out properly. So this is 120 divided by 25.4. What is that? 4 and change.
4.724409,449. Yeah, it continues.
4.72 inches per second.
Yep.
Could an ant go that fast? Maybe. Yes, they probably could. That probably is very close to the speed of an ant. If you think about 4 inches, if there was an ant there, they could certainly cover that distance in 1 second.
Yeah. The next one is 900 grams per day.
Yep, 900 grams per day is correct. And we want to end up with pounds per day. So let me give you a little secret here. You're really good at this, and you probably don't need this, but even without knowing the conversion factors, I need to go ounces per gram, and then I need to go pounds per ounces, right? In other words, that's not a bad first step. And now fill in the numbers. How many ounces per gram are there?
Well, so how many? There's 1,000 grams in a kilogram.
Oh, we don't have ounces per gram.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got to go to kilograms. Okay. So
it's
we need a third.
More than 2 cents.
We need a third conversion factor here. This is going to give us. Yeah, we don't know this, so we know ounces per kilogram. So we need a third conversion factor.
Well, we know grams per kilogram, not ounces.
Oh, right. That's our third conversion factor. Kilograms per grams. In other words, we're trying to figure out how much 900 grams per day is. So the first conversion factor is to give us kilograms per day, and then ounces per day, and then pounds per day. So what's this first conversion?
1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams.
How many ounces per kilogram?
I don't believe it says that. It does say 0.95 kilograms per pound, though.
Oh, so we just need one more conversion factor.
Yeah, and that would be 1 pound per 0.95 kilograms.
Okay. I lost my way there for a moment. Grams cancel, kilograms cancel, and we end up with pounds per day. Okay, so 900 divided by 900 divided by 1,000 divided by 0.95. It's going to be a number a little less than 1.
0.947-ish.
So that's 0.95. They wanted to round it off to the nearest hundred.
Yep. And
All right.
so,
Making good progress here.
yeah.
You're the only student I have that knows all of the problems. Is there anything else you want to look at there? All of the word problems, 35 through 40, are going to be this. Once you convert the word problem to, it'll end up being one of the previous problems we've done. In other words,
Yeah.
let's take the first word problem. How much did the Brachiosaurus weigh in kilograms if he weighed 172,000 pounds? So how much is 172,000 pounds in kilograms?
Well, you just have to do 0.95 kilograms per pound. And then you get your answer.
Right, 0.95 times that number.
So it weighed 163,400.
The world would be an easier place if all of the countries would have adopted a common set of units.
Yeah, isn't America the only
Not the only one, but most of Europe is on the metric system.
Yeah.
And,
Most of South America, I believe, too.
yeah, but it's not just the metric system versus the pound-mile system.
Yeah.
It gets worse. When you get into force, measurements of force and work, there's a third system. And so when you take physics, you have to learn 3 units of measure.
People should just get together and then make their countries learn.
Well, the problem is that which system should be adopted? In other words, Europe has been wanting the United States to adopt the metric system for as long as I've been alive, because it makes more sense. It's in units of 10 as opposed to our silly system. But
yeah, I like the metric system because it's used more often too.
Yes. So if you're right, if we would have adopted the metric system 50 years ago, everybody would be a lot better off now. But we didn't, and it's really hard to change the system you use once you set up something. Because notice that all of our rulers would have to be changed. All of our rulers are in inches and feet. All of our measuring are in yards. So it's not easy to change your units of measure for a country. It's very difficult. And there's always the question of which is the best. In other words, why should we change to the European system? Why shouldn't they change to our system? And since nobody can make a super good argument for that, one way or the other, everybody sticks with their same system. And you pour the water from a full 2-liter bottle into a 2-quart pitcher without spilling any.
Well, that's nice. I don't like to spill things.
Yeah. So they're basically saying which is bigger. Is 2 liters bigger or is 2 quarts bigger?
So 2 liters equals So 1 liter equals 0.95 quarts. So you would 0.95 liters equals 1 quart.
Oh, I got it wrong. Okay, I was just listening to, what is it now? We know we need liters on the bottom and quarts on the top.
Yeah, my bad about that. 1 quart equals 0.95.
Ah, that does make a difference, because that makes this number greater than 2. So it's 2 plus quarts. So that's all we need to know to answer the question. Can you do it without spilling any?
So, yes, you could, because a liter is smaller than a quart, and that means either way.
Now, hold on. We just figured out that 2 liters was equal to 2.1 quarts.
Oh, okay. So
the 2 liters is bigger than 2 quarts.
So you would have to.
Right, you would spill some. You could pour 2 quarts into a 2-liter bottle, but you could not pour 2 liters into a 2-quart bottle.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of canceling the units, is you always, in other words, instead of having 0.95 over 1, we had 1 over 0.95, and it made all the difference in the world. And the only reason we knew that it was 1 over 0.95 is because we knew that liters had to be in the denominator, quarts had to be in the numerator.
Yeah, and so you always have to cross-reduce to...
Yeah, if you really want to check your answer, make sure your units cross. That's the key to doing all of these problems, is make sure your units. Because otherwise, if we'd have used 0.95 over 1, we would have had liters squared over quarts. Right? In other words, if you get it wrong, in other words, 2 liters, if I use the wrong conversion factor and I use 0.95 liters per 1 quart, well, what does that give me? That gives me liters squared over quart. We know we don't want that, which means I got to have this reversed.
Yeah.
Since I know that I want quarts over nothing. Okay, how about this speed limit problem here? They suggest a speed limit of 130 kilometers per hour. Is the speed shown on this miles per hour greater than the suggested limit? In other words, we're comparing it to 110 miles per hour.
Yeah. So the first thing you need to do is kilometers per mile. There's 1.6 kilometers in a mile. So you would put miles on top and 1.6 kilometers on the bottom.
So that's going to give us miles per hour. And is 130 divided by 1.6 greater than or less than 110?
It is greater, no. Yeah, greater than.
What's 130 divided by 1.6?
It is 81.25. Oh!
So their speed limit really is 81 miles per hour. And we're going 110. We're speeding.
Yeah.
Although the truth is the Autobahn does not have any speed limit. I was on the Autobahn in the 70s, and cars typically go 100 miles an hour, 110 maybe.
Oh.
So if the speed drops 30 miles per hour, which means it's now 80 miles per hour, is the new speed below the suggested limit?
So the new speed...
In other words, we're going 110 miles per hour. The suggested speed limit is 81 miles per hour. So if we drop this 110 by 30, we'd be going 80 miles per hour,
Yeah.
which would be under the speed limit.
Mhm.
All right.
And that would make us not be breaking the law.
Yes. Although, like I said, there's nobody going to give you a ticket over there.
Yeah.
All right, David. I will talk to you next Wednesday, 4:30. Keep up the good work. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.